from Tier 1 college, then I would say it's mostly the skill sets which can save you.
True, very true. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of our show. And today we have Mitesh Boral with us. He is my MBA batchmate. He is also my MBA classmate. So, hi, Mitesh, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Shantan, and hope you are doing well too. And first of all,
Absolutely.
very congratulations on this podcast. You are really doing it great.
Thank you so much, Mitesh. Thank you so much. And it's also kind of my pleasure that you are here because definitely the kind of expertise that you're having and the kind of knowledge that you're having, like if you share your knowledge with us today, we would be super grateful to you. So thank you for joining us, Mitesh.
Right.
Mitesh, let's like start this thing with a proper introduction. So Mitesh, like I really want you to introduce yourself. Like tell us who Mitesh Boral is. Like who is Mitesh Boral?
Sure, sure. So, as you know, I'm Mitesh Boral, and I have done my B.Tech in Electronics and Communications Engineering, 2018 passed out from Bengal College of Engineering and Technology, that's in Durgapur, West Bengal. And I've been into the B2C field, I would say.
Right.
Most of my work experiences are into the B2C field, and I started with sales, then went into technical support, and then again, I got the vibe that it was not my cup of tea. So I slowly moved to different space, and then I went to operations, and I started liking it, and it gave me a sense that this is something I can do it.
Who throughout
I
your
can
life.
do it well. Yeah. So I started the journey in that way,
Right.
and after that, 2020, that time I just took admission
Different.
for MBA in IEM Kolkata, which is right now going to end in just a
Right.
couple of months.
Maybe four. Now the next question that I want to ask you is that you are a B.Tech, and after your B.Tech, you're doing an MBA, right? So do you think that MBA is a need these days? Like, is it like that? Because most of I've seen that most of the MBAs, like who all are completing their MBAs, they all are kind of maybe from this B.Tech background specifically, right? There are students from BCom and BBAs, but if I compare, then I see B.Techs ruling the MBA industry. So do you think that MBA is a need for all the B.Techs these days?
Um, yeah, I would like to answer this question. Actually, it's a very difficult. It's very difficult to say
It's
because
completely
this
your
is
opinion. What is your opinion?
yeah it's what I think is the problem which people are facing today in India is the kind of education which we are getting. Actually, that is not job oriented.
Okay.
That is a major thing, and that is a problem both in sort of engineering as well as in management. To be very honest, most of the stuffs which are being taught in engineering as well as in MBA
Mhm.
are not actually job oriented, which
Okay.
is creating a very big gap between how the freshers are coming out of the institute
Mhm.
and how the organizations are running, especially the startups, I would say.
Mhm. Like there is a
Still,
gap between the practical knowledge and the theoretical knowledge. That's what you kind of meant. That there is a
yes,
gap.
yes,
Oh,
definitely there is a gap. There is a gap, and that gap, I would say, uh, today's curriculums are
mhm.
more relevant 15 years ago in the organizations, I would say 10 to 15 years ago, because most of the things that are going on in the curriculums of both engineering and management
Mhm.
are not updated as per the industry standards which are
Got it.
going on right now, even though there are new subjects introduced in
Right.
management also, like digital marketing and all sorts. But to be very honest, if you survey with 100 MBAs, I'm very sure that at least 90 of them do not have any expertise on how to run digital campaigns
Right.
on any website.
Right.
That
I
is a
got it.
very big fact.
Got
And
it.
even like stuffs like stock market trading,
Hmm.
people do not know.
Know about the tools and all. They just know about the theoretical part, but they do not know how to
Theoretical,
use that tool.
yeah, exactly.
That's
They might brag about cryptos are going on and they are trending in the Twitter, but let's face the reality that
yes.
forget about crypto. We are not in US, we are in India.
Yes.
Let's talk about the stock markets,
Right.
equity,
I got your point.
equity market, and people do not know. And some people
Derivative.
who,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and people do not know, and more than that, I would say that people are not interested. There are many professionals and MBAs as well. I have seen those who have demat accounts,
Mm-hmm.
but they do not use it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just in the heat of the moment, they had created some Demat account, but they practically
Not
do not
use
use
it,
it.
or maybe they do not have this idea how to make a use of it, because that's what actually is a very big problem. And to be very honest, Mitesh, that's the reason why I do, or maybe that's the idea of this entire podcast thing, that I want people to get more knowledgeable about the industry, because I've seen that many people, they do not have someone to guide them, that how this industry works. Like for example, to an
Exactly.
extent, what you just told, that stock market and cryptos, they are different things. People do not have this idea. They are still in that thing that, oh, crypto and stock market, they are from the same thing. And they do not, they just have this Twitter oriented ideas. But practically, they do not have the entire idea of what these things actually are. So yes, that's a
Exactly.
very big problem. That's a very big problem.
Exactly. And one more thing I would like to point out, that as you said, that people do not have idea. Actually, people, most of the people are not even interested to gather the idea. That is a very big thing.
Oh, that's the
And other,
controversial statement, though.
yeah,
But
that is a true thing. Yeah, it might be a bit controversial, but it's true, because everything is more or less available in YouTube. Even
hmm,
uh, we
that's
learn whatever we learn, we do it from YouTube, and even this is also going to be used in
mhm,
YouTube to make people
actually.
financially aware.
Right, right. That's absolutely true, and that's the entire concept of this podcast. Mitesh, for answering this question so brilliantly. Well, my next question to you is, Mitesh, is completely different. It's about the kind of job that you were doing. Like you have just mentioned about Flipkart. So I really want you to tell us about what was your job role and what was the kind of work that you were doing with Flipkart.
Sure. So first of all, I would like to clarify that in Flipkart, I was working as a freelancer. So the thing was, I was into operations.
Okay.
Okay, so in daily operations, it was more of a
Okay.
escalations processing on different sorts of problems that could be either reverse logistics issues, or fraud risk management. By fraud risk management, there are not only transactional frauds, which we mostly think, people think that there are frauds of transactions, which is true, but mostly there are different sorts of frauds, like you know uh, any any product which might have been delivered but is not
Right,
actually
right, right,
delivered
right,
because of intentional ways, not
right.
unintentional ways.
I
That could be
remember
some,
Food Panda days.
yeah. So these are internet products, and
Right.
they all work in the same ways.
Sorry, I
So
took a
be it
name. I'm
Flipkart or
sorry. I'm sorry.
Zomato.
I took a name. No controversies. I really do not want controversies, but yeah, that's
No, no, no,
wrong
actually
with
this is
Food
not
Panda.
a, this is not a, controversy. This is actually true, and the companies are not responsible for this.
Right, right, right. I
Okay,
think the logistics.
nobody wants to spoil their brand.
Yeah, but Mitesh, you like I do not have any idea about this thing, but I think that logistics and operations, they play a very vital role in this entire zone, if I'm not wrong, because I really do not have any idea
Yes,
about.
yes, I would like to clarify one thing, that um, by operations, most people, especially for the MBA professionals, I would like to say that, and those who are pursuing MBA, they think that operations mainly deals with either supply chain or logistics. That's what the basic idea they have,
Then I
and
do
it
have
is,
that idea.
yes, that is true for the most of the manufacturing sectors.
Okay.
But when it comes to internet products,
Hmm.
operations could range to a very different segments, like process developments, process building, process optimization. I would like to give you an example of let's say how you are purchasing a product in Flipkart is, or Amazon, is very different from how you used to buy uh, from Flipkart or Amazon 10 years ago.
Hmm.
Okay, so 10 years ago, there were very simple websites. You have
Hmm.
to just get into the website, log in, and add to cart or the product you want to buy,
Hmm.
and then simply check out. But
Yeah.
today, things are very different. So there are more layers added. You can get more multi-layered usage and comments from the users who have already bought the products. You can get recommendations
Hmm.
of the products. Definitely, these are actually based on the data. Okay, so that's a data science segment on how products are getting recommended. But there is a lot of operational activities going around there as well. How I tell you, say for example, someone is not able to buy a product,
Okay.
that could be a different issue for you, but that same issue could be a different problem for someone else, because you are buying one product at a time, but there are people who are having shops. So basically they are not customers, they are actually retailers.
Retailers.
So they are also trying to buy products from Amazon or Flipkart. Now they are ordering, let's say they try to order 10 smartphone at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So that is when it is detected that there is a fraud going on over there, because a customer, normal customer would buy either one or two max. They would not like to buy 10 smartphone at a time or 10 laptops at a time. So basically that is basically a smartphone retailer who is trying to buy those products, and they would sell to the end customers with their own margin.
Okay. 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 That's a very big deal.
Right. Yeah, so that's the kind of frauds
Fraud.
we actually, as a in e-commerce, people actually try to do, and the companies, which is why, are getting more smarter, because
Right.
if the customers are getting smart, then the customer, with the customers, the company also has to get more smarter. And
Auditing part
that's
is
the
getting stronger.
yeah, so that's where more processes are built, so that this kind of issues could be detected soon and could be eliminated from the main process, so that genuine customers like you and me do not get disrupted in purchasing products.
Okay. 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 I got it.
So there are many kinds of operational processes which are built, and they are not related to supply chain and logistics. But definitely there are processes built around supply chain and logistics as well, but apart from that, there are many other processes which are built.
Okay. Okay. Well, again, thank you for answering this question. Now, Mitesh, my point to you was, as a freelancer, do you have to give any sort of an interview with the kind of organization you're working with?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would like to say that for freelancing, actually this freelancing stuff is very new in India,
Mm-hmm.
because it has been popular in the West, especially in US and European
Right.
countries. But
Absolutely.
in India, this is a very new concept, and it has been booming much from the pandemic time.
Mm-hmm.
Before pandemic, it was not popular. It was
Not in
not
the.
much popular.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was very new. So what happens is, at first, most of these freelancing projects are not directly generated by the company itself. What do? Is they uh, provide this project to let's say a subsidiary of Flipkart, uh, or a third party organization who has got contract with Flipkart.
Flipkart.
Now
Okay.
yeah, so they provide such freelancing projects to them, and
Mhm.
then we can find those
Right.
projects
To.
in LinkedIn.
Okay. Okay. On LinkedIn.
In LinkedIn itself.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we do not have any other source to find. Mostly in LinkedIn, I have found this kind of projects are
Okay.
available. And then once we apply it, after that, if our CVs get shortlisted, then from that particular subsidiary or from the third party organization,
Mhm.
interviews are conducted. First,
Okay.
let's say two rounds maximum,
Yeah.
and
Now,
then
what I want you to actually tell about the entire interview process. How was your interview and how you reacted to that questions? Like, for example, if a person X wants to apply for this kind of job role, what are the kind of interview processes and how was your reaction to those questions and situations?
okay, yeah. So what happens is, once you apply in LinkedIn, like any other job, the procedure is same. But after that, once if the CV gets shortlisted, after that the recruiter calls, and they ask for the verification of the candidate. After that, what happens, once it's verified, they ask about the previous work experience. In my case, it was previous work experience. I don't know about the freshers, but for me it was I was mainly interviewed with previous work experience, and what kind of processes I have worked with, and with what is the bandwidth of customers
Okay.
on those products
Mm-hmm.
for which I had worked previously. Those types of questions were there. And then the final interviews actually happened with the organization itself.
Okay.
It happens with the Flipkart itself
So
for the
this was
final
the
interview.
first round of interview, the third party. This was the first round of
Yeah,
interview. After the
first
CV gets
round is basically
shortlisted.
the candidate verification.
Okay. Okay.
Second round
After your
is,
CV gets shortlisted.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
they try to verify that whatever you have
I got it.
whatever written in the CV are truth or not.
Okay.
So that is the first round.
Okay.
And
Followed by.
then the second round, that is also from the third party contract itself.
Okay.
They ask about all about the previous work experience.
Okay. Okay.
They
That's
do
quite
ask.
nice.
And
Yeah.
then the final interviews generally I have seen happening with the
Organization.
company itself. And that too, sometimes with the third party itself they happen, and sometimes with the direct company itself. So that time they ask about like whether you'll be able to handle such kind of circumstances or not, or how you are going to project any sort of problems which you are going to phase in that particular process you're going to work, and these are actually called ethnographic interviews. That means it does not have any sort of right answer. It's like how much efficient you are. It's not
I
it's
got it.
not
I got
like
it.
you are either right or wrong. It's like how much efficient your solution is.
Matlab,
Yep,
that person does not checks your honesty, but checks your skills about like your thought
exactly.
process.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. So, for example, it could be like any sort of questions like in rush hours,
mhm.
if there is a traffic in the, let's say, in the central part of the city, and a driver who has got, both uh, onboarded by Uber as well as Ola as well. So why would that driver would prefer to accept the booking of Uber instead of Ola? Because
Okay.
it's a rush hour, so there will be traffic from both the platforms, both from Ola and Uber. But why would that particular driver would accept the offer from Uber but
Uber.
not from Ola?
Okay.
Because that drives the growth of the company. So such kind of questions are being asked, and there is no right or wrong answers to it. It's
I
like
got it.
how much optimized
Situational
your
based.
answer could be. Yes, 100%. These are ethnographic interviews.
Okay. Okay. So like these are the only three rounds of interviews that
Yeah,
are there. If somebody. Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Well, again, these were the kind of questions which I actually wanted to ask you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much again, Mitesh, for
Thank you.
joining us for like answering very, very, very vital questions, because Flipkart, we all know, is a brand. And also, if somebody is there who is, willing to work as a freelancer, they actually do not have any idea about all these things. So thank you so much for helping that person out with
Thank you.
their queries. Okay, well, Hitesh, I really want you to tell about your experience with us in this show. Like, how was your experience sharing about your experiences?
Yeah. So, see, first of all, I'd like to say that this kind of podcasts are actually needed for, you know, for the professionals of our age, because these they need to know about how to grow further from the
Hmm.
position they are. If someone is fresher, then they think about getting a job. If someone is not fresher like us, then we think about how to get a better job.
Right, right,
That's the reality. So
right.
if so the same, I do the same, like whenever I find uh, professionals who have more work than
Connected.
me, then
Yeah,
I
we
try
have to
to
do that.
get into their brain about what exactly they're trying to do and what do I need to take away from them.
Right, right, right.
I think this is a great thing that you are doing such podcasts, and I'm sure that in future you are gonna make more for better interviews with more experienced
Absolutely.
professionals, so that I can learn something from
Right,
them.
absolutely, absolutely. We are trying our level best to bring the kind of big personalities. But of course, again, I really feel that it's not about your experience, but it's about how you share your experience. Because I think experiences are something which is very interpersonal, right? It's not
Definitely,
intrapersonal, it's very interpersonal. So, whatever experience
definitely,
I try to gather, be it you as Mitesh Boral or be it Mr. X as a general manager, I think both are important equally for a person who is in need of knowledge. So definitely,
definitely.
definitely. Thank you again, Mitesh, for joining us, for bearing
Yeah,
me and all my questions. Well, with
thank you.
that, we'll end this entire show. So thank you, viewers, for watching
Sure.
this entire video. I really hope that you loved the video, you loved the concept. Stay tuned with us. Thank you. Bye bye.